Okay, perfect. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of our weekly community call. So for last week, the main thing that happened was that we had the yearly or annual meeting of the cooperative, which is, the company that is mostly in charge of the Kleros protocol. So as per our statutes, we have the obligation to do one annual meeting where we present all of the work that was done during the previous year to all of the partners of the cooperative. So this requires always a bit of preparation because there is a lot of reporting to do. So yeah, this is what took much of my time during the past few weeks. So the meeting was held on Friday, and well, I was, I guess, lucky enough to keep my job for now at least, and because of the partners, well, didn't have any major objection to my work. So yeah, I'm happy about that. It's like my annual test. So that was a big thing, and as you know, we are going to, based on this report that is produced for the partners of the cooperative, we are going to publish a blog post which is going to have general annual information about different things that went on during the past year, like in terms of development, in terms of business development, in terms of research, in terms of marketing, and everything that we do every day here at Kleros. Okay, so that was a big thing for last week. Then another very big thing is that we are starting to prepare the launch of our beloved VIA bridge. I will probably maybe let JB, who is there, maybe if you can speak. I mean, if you're at a place where you can speak, maybe you can comment a bit about the bridge, JB.
Yes, hi everyone. So we are getting closer to launch of VIA on the testnet. We are aiming for an announcement actually during East Taipei at the end of next week, where our colleague Shotaro will be talking, and that will coincide with hopefully a live demo on stage. I'm speculating that is what the plan for Shotaro, to do a live demo on stage, which is quite risky, and that will be the official testnet deployment of VIA between Arbitrum Goerli and Goerli. And yeah, so we're preparing for that. The immediate next milestone will be hopefully a week later, the deployment between Arbitrum Goerli and the Gnosis testnet, which is Shadow. And it basically adds one more extra step in the unhappy path, where in the unhappy path, the message has to go through the canonical bridges through a hop on mainnet. So it has to do actually Arbitrum, Goerli, then mainnet, then Shadow. So that's the extra step that we need to implement to support Arbitrum to Gnosis, basically. And that's what is going to be used by the Kleros v2 deployment later. So it's all aligning towards this goal. And then we should have the mainnet deployment of VIA between Arbitrum 1 and Gnosis mainnet, launched in mid-May, if everything is going according to plan.
Thank you. Yeah, that's for people to see. Actually, when we call, say Kleros 2.0, I mean, it's not just one project. It's like a combination of different projects that, I mean, seem to, converge into V2, which is quite complex. One of them, as you know, is VIA, and another one is well, what I would call, lots of research put into improving social choice theory and the game theory that is underlying Kleros in order to address a number of new use cases. And it's funny that exactly this week, we are working in an integration which is quite important with a company from the legacy world. I mean, we already mentioned this here. We cannot disclose anything about the name because NDA stuff, but some of the requirements for this integration to work is, I mean, we couldn't do this if we had not devoted a lot of time to how to improve the Kleros game theory in order to produce decisions that are relevant for the different potential partners that Kleros can have. I mean, maybe William can explain a bit more. I mean, of course, without saying the name or the exact topic of the integration. I mean, but you can say about the challenges that we have for doing this type of integrations.
Yeah, so that integration specifically wants numerical answers. So there's this question of how much of some amount of money should be rewarded basically on some scale, and they seem to have higher and higher expectations for what kinds of answers we can produce based on the test we've had. The first test was binary answer, should pay out or not. It was kind of familiar Kleros experience. And then they wanted another test where it's just choose people jurors to choose from a list of discrete numerical answers. We had a voting system that was ready to do that. So we had some a test, a small test with some jurors in the Telegram group, and try to see what kinds of things we could produce with these kinds of constraints. And now now they're oh, well, actually, can you just produce the choices yourself? We don't want to have to produce the choices, which adds this substantially increased the layer of complexity in the sort of social choice theory. But luckily, maybe we have research on producing sort of real number values without prompts. There's this paper that Clement and I wrote long ago. Those were sort of early days when I was starting with Kleros. It was published in the proceedings of a conference in 2019. That we basically envisioned as a sort of price oracle that could use Kleros to resolve disputes about people's ideas, basically conflicting ideas of whether you get respondents from a community that give information about the price, and then the degree to which they disagree produces a bunch of Kleros disputes. And now we're well, maybe we can adapt this to the sort of this other slightly different use case, and sort of mixing together the kinds of price oracle work we've done before to some how does it fit in with our other broader social choice theory work, and it seems relatively promising that we'll maybe have something that will work for that application. But yeah, there's lots of interesting social choice theory problems.
Maybe you can comment, William. What is the complexity of having people produce the answers themselves instead of choosing between different options? I mean, why is this complex and hard to do?
Yeah, so with a lot of it comes down to so there's always the question of what's your voting and incentive system, and so a natural voting system would be to just have people all submit a number, and then you take the median, and then you get into questions of okay, well, how do I reward or penalize people? So first of all, the median approach, when you have lots of answers from different people and people can sort of choose wherever they are on the scale, already has some issues in the if say an attacker has 20% or something of the distribution of the votes, less than 50%, but it's a large whale, then if they all vote for the extreme answer, they can kind of within the degree to which there is natural variation within the answers of the honest participants, they can kind of drag the answer to an extreme. Instead of if you have some distribution around wherever the honest answer should be, the attacker can kind of all vote on one extreme, and now the median is a relatively extreme value from among the honest answers. So already that's maybe not like catastrophic, but it's not great. Like Vitalik had a blog post about sort of this like price oracle question when he commented on this specific phenomenon as kind of like micro cheating. And then moreover, you have this sort of question of when you don't know like the precision of the answer you want to produce. It's hard for the oracle to know in advance whether say somebody like put answers like pay $5 or €5 or something, and somebody else says like pay $6. Are they agreeing? Like, are they disagreeing to like what degree? Like in Kleros, if everybody like agrees on an honest answer, like no one is penalized. Whereas if you like maybe you take some approach where you sort of penalize the most extreme answers, it could be that the most extreme answers are still like really close to the median answer. And like the oracle doesn't, unless you build in some kind of scale, the oracle can't really tell that like that divergence is a problem or not. So the approach that in the paper that Clement and I have has people not only submit a single value, but they submit an interval. Like a juror in this case would submit like what's the like low end of what you think is acceptable and honest, and what's the high end of what you think is acceptable and honest. And then it uses those intervals to calibrate like how much precision the oracle should try to produce. And if everybody's sort of intervals just all overlap, then nobody's penalized. And people are penalized to the degree that they have conflicting intervals.
There you go. So we have all that complexity to deal with, but well, this is what allows Kleros to be more flexible and address more use cases, and so which leads to higher adoption. So yeah, and these are the kind of things that we research every week. Any other thing to add, William, to this week update?
Not much. So I have I mentioned last week, I have a recently accepted article that's going to be published soon in an economics journal. So that should happen very soon. For those of you who are excited about reading this article, it's again on these sort of like social choice theory questions a bit more generally, whereas the linear thing is kind of a special case. So I am, as we, sort of like today, going through the sort of pre-proofs of that the journal has sent me of the typesetting they've done to like see if everything is good, and the article should appear soon.
Awesome. So thank you. So we covered the meeting, the cooperative, we covered VIA, we cover social choice stuff. Another thing, this week we are planning the set of events that we're going to try to hold during the THCC conference in Paris. So there will be more news about this in the future, and we got like a bunch of talks accepted. I don't know, like maybe 5 or so talks for the THCC, which is great. I was doing some mental accounting, and I guess since the first THCC we went, that was I think 2018, we might have combined like about 30 talks. I mean, you will have like 5 or 6, I guess, right? 5 maybe.
5. So this is the 5th. So I didn't present in 2018. I had just started with Kleros, and like 2018 was like the first ECC. So like I unfortunately I didn't present in the first one, but all the other ones since then.
Yeah, I think I had like 4. I know. Clement is there, I think. Clement, how many did you do at the THCC?
No, I think I only had 1 talk at THCC.
A private talk, I remember.
I got the talks.
Okay. Well, I mean, we had a Matt, I remember. I think we had Shotaro, maybe 20 combined. Okay, so that's what we are working on, and now also side events and those type of stuff. Then I think I already mentioned this last week, but we are going to have next in the coming months new format for the incubator that's going to be like more like a boot camp. We still are planning to do the in-person incubator, but it's probably going to happen the next cohort, maybe next year. So it's more efficient for us to do I mean, more teams in the cohort. So it's because there's a bunch of fixed costs that are better spread that way. So we also got lots of questions from people who want to access the content and the materials and the guidance that we give the teams. So we are planning to do something that is going to be virtual without investment from the cooperative, at least for upfront, and then maybe there will be some scheme where we do invest in projects we see as promising, and so we are planning also how to do that. What is the best way to organize that program? So that was other of the things that we were discussing this week. Maybe Jean, you have some comments from communications and stuff.
Yes, I believe that there were some events this last weekend. The Avir participated. Avir and Emmett participated on an event in Hong Kong about Web3. I know Emmett was on a panel and Avir as well, talking about Kleros. Arbitration in DAOs, and also there was a panel about proof of humanity with Sofia Kosar from Blockchain Gov, and Shotaro and Akil were at Tokyo. I believe that Shotaro participated on a hackathon there and created helped create a project, and I hope that he shares more about it in the next call. And I've been working on short videos to resurface or reformat the material that we have. Like, as you must know, there's a lot of podcast episodes, talks, and content, video content in general that we have that maybe does not get exposed as much because it's long form and most people maybe right now are consuming short format videos. So we are kind of finding a way of automatizing some of the process to create these videos and maybe basically format this great content that we have so people see it and maybe get drawn to the long format as well. So yeah, I believe that's it. Also, we are coordinating, as Federico said, what we will do for the VIA launch, and yeah, that's probably will be our focus for the coming weeks.
Thank you, Jim. And maybe, I don't know, maybe some comment about V2, or I mean, we already covered VIA. I don't know if maybe Clement or JB want to comment something about that, what the type of work that we are doing now. Yeah.
I'll let Clement maybe go first.
Yeah, not about the VIA, but on the hiring. I just publish a policy writer position. So I think that's something which could be of interest to people who are already in the community. Because we are either searching for people who have a background of working with a system of rules, even if they are not like state-based rules. So we'll give you the link here. And if you've been a Kleros juror, you can probably apply for this job if it's something which interests you.
A Kleros juror with great, interest for the details and orientation for details. So that could be a good, I guess, a skill set for writing policies.
And I'm putting that in the channel. I just put that in the channel.
Okay, so feel free to apply there if you want. I don't know. So maybe JB, you want to comment on V2 then?
Yes. So on V2, so we are starting to freeze the scope of the changes for V2 in order to hit the deadlines, which are really trying to ship by end of Q2. So yeah, on the development side, we are trying to limit the number of new changes and clearing the backlog for the feature parity. So V1 feature parity, so we want the same features as V1 at least at launch time. And also giving us some time to do some internal review of the contracts, both for VIA and V2. Yeah, so that's where we are now. So yeah, the manpower right now in terms of development is focused more on VIA, but the planning part is prioritizing the changes for V2.
Awesome. Thank you. And I think that one final thing for this week is that we got already the fellowship reports of people who participated in this cohort, and well, we are reviewing them. There are different topics and that stuff. So just reading what was sent, suggesting improvements and reviewing. That's the thing. And I don't think I have anything else for this week. Oh, maybe one important thing is that today I'm back for playing Age of Empires. So after a few weeks of not playing because of traveling, and I'm back with my gaming computer. So that's an important piece of news also for the week. And that's it then, guys. I don't know if you have any questions.
One last thing about from the BD team side. As I mentioned last week, a new program of Ledger. A new incentive program of Ledger was launched this week. So if someone wants to earn some money and make some new submissions, it's easy. Anyone can do it.
Yeah, Jean, you can maybe put there the conditions so people can see how it works, and then they can make submissions. It's a cool thing.
And another thing that is cool about it is that Ledger accepted integrated with the first batch of lists of submissions in their platform. So the integration is now being used officially.
There you go. So Kleros Ledger integration. Okay. Any question, guys? Okay. Well, thank you all for coming, and you can claim your POAP. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you.
Cheers.